Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
It is time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. And dismal Hollywood, too. We're going to talk about the writer's strike again. Apparently, there was a counter offer from AMP-TIP, studios including Disney and Netflix, and they're insulted. They're insulted by the counter offer, but we're going to show you the numbers they're talking about. And the numbers are pretty damn generous.
Yeah, I know, but hey.
They are. So let's talk about all this.
Who leaked the information? Was it AMP-TIP? Or
they think the studios did to show the public, because remember the WGA wanted to keep it all on the down low.
Right.
But they think it was somebody from the studios because one, they're trying to stir it up so their members start fighting with each other, because some of them are going to be like, those are totally fine terms, and they also want to show the public, I think, that they're not being ridiculous. They're like, we're actually going to give you guys raises. And by the way, Joe Average, did you know how much these writers actually get paid compared to what you get paid? They make more in a week than you probably make in 2 months. Are you going to feel bad for them then? So that's what I think they're doing. This is a psych out. So we're going to talk about it. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo. Woohoo! Bear with us. Both of us are sick. It's not the Canadian COVID, but it is some kind of a con crud I think we picked up.
It's just one of those things that no matter, and weather doesn't help either. But no matter what you do, it just doesn't go away.
Yeah. So let's talk about the strikes. We've been talking about it a lot lately, and the big sticking point for the studios seems to be the writer's room, which we did a video on yesterday, that, the WGA wants to have so many writers on staff. They want them employed so many weeks out of the year. They want them paid.
Wait, they want the amounts that we're going to look at to these people who, just to make sure they have like a minimum amount. So they need 5, they want 15 at these pay rates.
Yes. Yeah, and it's not sustainable.
No.
Right? So Disney CEO Bob Iger and Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos were among the media industry executives who met with the leadership of the Writers Guild of America on Tuesday. This has come from Barron's. Subsequently, details of the latest offer made by Hollywood studios and media companies to the striking writers were published online, including a guaranteed minimum length of employment, controls around the use of AI, and wage increases.
So basically everything they wanted but the writer's room.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And let's look at these. So this is what they're offering the WGA, and this is like the second or third round of talks here.
Okay.
So this is a press release, I think, from AMP-TIP, and they're basically like,
so they did release it.
Yeah, they released it. So they said highlights of the package include significantly higher compensation. So they're going back to the writers and saying, this is the highest wage increase for the WGA in 35 years. A compounded 13% increase over the 3-year contract, with an increase of 5% in year 1, 4% in year 2, and 3.5% in year 3. This is what they're getting paid.
Yeah, no, this is what it's current and what it'll take them up to. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is current. This is currently what they're getting paid. On top of wage increases, a 15% increase in minimum weekly rates for Article 14 writers other than story editors or executive story editors in the first year of the agreement, with further general wage increases. This would take a regular writer, from $9,888 a week to $11,371 a week for guarantees of up to 9 weeks. So we're talking
a week.
So we're talking almost $100,000 a year.
Yeah, they're getting like,
or more. It's like $100,000 a year for 9 weeks of work.
Almost $40,000 to $45,000 a month.
Yeah. So $8,000
a month. Holy shit.
Yes. So, okay, I'm really sorry, guys. It is making it very hard for the average Joe to feel very badly for these people when this is what they're offering. They're like, oh yeah, you guys are already getting almost $10,000 a week, but we'll guarantee you work at over $11,000 a week for up to 9 weeks, which is a freaking 6-figure salary, right? Like that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. So
for 9 weeks of work.
No, the rate goes down the longer you're contracted
but
for.
But still.
But I mean, yeah, because they're going to say, well, that's only 9 weeks, but what about the rest? Well, they're paying you more because you're only guaranteed for this contract. And here's the thing, like a lot of jobs are contracted jobs. You're only contracted for a set amount of time. Right. Teachers, for example, people don't understand this. You make that money a year, and they're like, they make so much money a year. You're only contracted for all the months schools in session. The months schools aren't in session. So they get paid. A lot of times they do is they take money out of their pay throughout the whole year so they're getting less of their actual amount, so they can be paid over summer. But they're not contracted, 12 months of the year. They're only contracted for the school year. These are contracted gigs up to 9 weeks. So if you go up to 10 to 19 weeks, you were at 8,240 a week, and now you're going to get 9,576 a week.
Yes.
Okay. If you're guaranteed 20 to 29 weeks, you're usually at 7,412 a week, and then you're going to get up to 8,500 a week.
Okay, so when you go to an average person and you tell them that these writers currently are getting about $10,000 a week, but
Even
they want
the lowest ones are getting 7,500 or 7,400 a week.
But they want more. They're going to look at you and they're going to laugh.
Because that's what people get like in 2 months.
Yeah. That's, I mean, I get they're in LA, but there are a lot of people in LA. They're not making anywhere near that much money.
Right.
High budget SVOD residual increases. Total worldwide domestic and foreign residuals would increase from 72,000 to 87,000 per episode for 3 years. So a new structure to train writers to become the showrunners of tomorrow by guaranteeing the length of employment and requiring that at least 2 mid-level writers chosen by the showrunner be assigned to production. So what they're doing is they're saying, we will let you have 2 people that the showrunner gets to pick. Mm-hmm. Okay. But you can't have 20 people that just get assigned to that job.
Right. And, I'm sure if they want more, they can ask for it. But those, and that's, at least if there's a showrunner who doesn't want writers, they're still having to have 2.
Yes.
It's going to be a requirement.
Right. So that I think is acceptable. I think that's more than fair. Mm-hmm. Because then the showrunner gets to make the decision, because the showrunner is going to have at least 1 or 2 other writers.
And they can't say, well, it's gig work. It's gig work. We're not getting enough.
All gig work,
it's gig work, but Hollywood is gig work.
It's all gig work.
You say you have 9 weeks, so you're like on a 2.5 month show or whatever. You're still guaranteed that money up to 9 weeks.
Yeah.
You get more than somebody who's contracted longer.
Yeah, they said the AMP tip is committed to allowing the showrunner to select at least 2 mid-level writers to be assigned to production who are each guaranteed at least 20 weeks of employment, unless the production period is shorter. A new compensation structure for development rooms. Writers will be guaranteed a minimum of 10 weeks of employment. And for Article 14 writers, the week-to-week rate of pay will increase by 43.8% over the current rate. Raising the rate $14,000 a week. And we're going to go back to this article. They're pissed about it. They're pissed about getting $14,000 per week. What other job can you have? I think I honestly, I think they're like, look, I'm not a shill for these studios. I think corporations are shit, right? But they're being more than fair. They're being more than generous. And this is what I was talking.
This is why they leaked it.
Yes. I think that's it. They're like, what the hell else you want? They wanted
what they want.
20 people getting paid that much.
But we want 20 people being paid this much for the same amount of time.
You can't do that.
No, they can't.
Written material produced by AI will not be considered literary material. Writer will not be disadvantaged if any part of the script is based on AI produced material. So the writer's compensation, credit, and separated rights will not be affected by the use of AI produced material. So if they use an AI assistant, and this is going to piss them off too, because they probably can get by with a showrunner, 2 competent writers, mm-hmm. and the use of AI, right? And this is exactly what we said would happen.
But they're basically saying we're not going to replace you with AI.
We're not going to replace you.
But,
Well, they are, because they're going to pay the people that are left, they're going to pay them more. What they're trying to do is they're trying to get rid of people that, frankly...
They're just going to get turned on each other, because the ones that are good writers who know they can go back to work tomorrow are going to be like, oh, yeah, you Klingons are holding us down.
Yeah, they said increased data transparency to reflect the internet has changed the dynamics of the entertainment business. For the first time, viewership data in the form of quarterly confidential reports. Yes, will be provided to the WGA, and it will include the total view hours per title. This increased transparency will enable the WGA to develop proposals to restructure the current SVOD residual regime. I think what's going to happen is they're going to get these numbers, and they're going to be like, nobody's watching this show. You want us to pay $14,000 a week to writers on a show that nobody's watching. It didn't even get 14,000 views.
Yeah.
So Guaranteed minimum employment and development rooms. They'll be guaranteed 10 weeks of employment. They basically, what these people want are 20 people guaranteed work 52 weeks a year at like $10,000 to $15,000 a week.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Can't do
Staff
it.
writers' rates will increase 31% over the week rate from $5,302 a week to $6,959 a week. And senior executive story editor will increase from $9,888 a week to $12,978 a week. I mean, even their staff writers who are complaining that they aren't getting paid anything are making like $20,000 a month.
Yeah. And I get that it's LA, but that you can live almost anywhere for $20,000.
But Neon, you're forgetting that when they get paid that, they have to do things like pay for union dues and taxes.
Taxes?
Oh my God. Like you don't understand. The normal people don't understand. We don't get to keep all that money. I still can't believe that one person said that.
These people, a lot of them, I think they got the gig right out of college. They have no real world experience.
Everybody pays the same thing.
Holy hell. So that's a pretty damn good, in my personal opinion. Okay, my personal opinion, I wish I had that kind of guaranteed work, kind of guaranteed rates. That's a pretty damn good counter offer, but they're not happy about it.
They had other things on there too. That was just part of it. They had other increases too. Like they had a backup script fee increase, 50% increase in pilot scripts for high budget SVOD series.
Yeah.
Now, required employment in the writer's room on any high budget SVOD or paid television series or serials.
High budget.
The showrunner may select at least 2 writers for a period of 20 consecutive weeks in the writer's room, but do not exceed the duration of the writer's room. So they're basically saying, yeah, sorry, this is their point right there. That's what they're pissed about.
Yeah. Yep. And they're trying to protect people with AI. They're basically saying we're not going to get rid of AI completely, but it's not going to replace you.
We're not lowering your pay. We're not lowering these requirements for AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Elimination of grandfathering of new media programs. So they're being pretty generous. I think they're being pretty generous, but it's not
enough.
It's not enough.
Because that's great for 2 writers. But what about the other 20 that the writer's room needs?
So the latest offer made by AmTip include a compound 13% wage increase over a 3-year contract and agreement to request on minimum staffing, although at a lower level than sought by the striking writers. We have come to the table with an offer that meets the priority concerns the writers have expressed. We're deeply committed to ending the strike. I'm sorry. We're deeply committed to ending the strike.
Depends who you ask.
Depends on who you ask. We're deeply committed to ending the strike and hopeful that the WGA will work toward the same resolution. So, that pretty much, again, if you're a top shelf writer, you're fine. The Writers Guild dismissed the offer as failing to adequately protect workers.
Because of the stupid writer's room mandates they want.
And said the release of the details was aimed to cause dissent among its members in a statement published online.
Because they're going to be like, wait, they're offering a whole lot of stuff and you guys just turned it down over the stupid writer's room mandates. Okay, fine. You know what they're going to do next? They're going to be like, fine. Okay, well, here's what we're offering you. Everybody gets $1,000 a week so that we can have the 20 people in there that you mandate.
Yeah. There you go. Because that's what happens. You've got a finite number of dollars to be divided among people who work on shows that most of these shows are never going to make their money back. This meeting was to get us to cave, which is why not 20 minutes after we left the meeting, the AmTip released its summary of the proposals. No, because they knew it was going to be spun that they're being unfair.
Mm-hmm. This is all over their mandates about the writer's room amount. That's what this whole thing's about.
Yep.
They're giving you
everything else.
Huge increases everything on else. They're giving you guaranteed work time, even if it shouldn't take that long. They're giving you, they're taking care of the residuals. They're making sure the AI stuff is getting regulated. All the stuff you asked for, and you're still like no because there's no minimum guarantee for the writer's room. There is, but there's only 2 people.
Yeah, so they're pissed off, and this is why they wanted to keep it hidden, because I think they knew that even some of their own members, if I were a member of the WGA and I knew, hey, I'm a pretty good writer and, I know I'm not going to have a problem getting work, right? And so I just want this thing to be over so we can go back to working on our shows, right? Mm-hmm. I would look at this and be like, what the fuck are you doing?
We know what they're doing. They're trying to make sure that we want that. That's great. Now you have to make it for 20 people. Multiply that times 10.
No, that's not how it works. The people that are left will get paid better. And this is what we've been saying since the beginning. This is actually the sticking point we had with the writer's strike too, is when they're like, you have to hire so many of us. It's like, well, it doesn't take 25 people to screw in a light bulb. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, you'd pay the electrician more, but that's it. And you get competent help. But these people are they're asking for the moon. I think what's going to happen is it could potentially backfire, and they could just drag this out until it's like, this is the best we're going to do. Take it or leave it. And if you're going to leave it, that's okay. We're saving money because we're not paying you people, you know, for the next 6 months. And we got plenty of stuff, and we got Korean shows, and we got, you know, reruns. And
Disney just put a bunch of stuff up there. Disney Plus shows that are coming out. They did it. I forget what country it was in. They were doing here's a preview. A bunch of them were documentaries, docuseries.
Documentary, yeah. So they're hunkering down. They know this is going to be a long, drawn out thing. But in this particular case, I cannot say that the studios are being unfair. I can't. I mean,
they're giving them way more than I think they're giving them. Give them.
Yeah. I honestly, I mean, you're talking, this isn't even.
The way they talked, I was like, oh, well, they're not giving them anything. I'm like, holy shit.
This isn't even meeting them halfway. This is like 85% of the way. The only thing that they're not going to agree to is we can't give all of you raises. And I think the purpose of this whole thing from their point of view is let's get rid of excess writers that are making shows that don't perform. We'd rather have, you know, the best of the best, and we'll pay them accordingly.
The flip side of this too is going to be they're going to pay a lot more, but they've already said they're cutting down the number of shows.
Yes.
So, you know, there's already going to be a bunch of writers who aren't going to be employed anyway. You know, they kept 20 people in the writer's room. They're still going to have way less shows, way fewer shows than they had before.
And I can almost guarantee what is going to happen after this.
UPS is hiring.
UPS is hiring. I saw that comment. I think what's going to happen after this is I think they're going to hire more non-union people so this doesn't happen again. So we'll see. It might be that we've got more writers and actors go FICOR so they can still work if another stupid thing like this happens.
Every time I think FICOR, I just think you're saying Falcor. And
Falcor.
It's going to come out in a dog, and they're going to be like, yeah, woo.
Well, that's it. You can just fly in the battle here. So this is going to go on. A lot of people
are sinking in the quicksand.
They are. They are. So this is they're talking this could go until early next year, and I think the studios are fully prepared for it. Netflix flat
but it could end now.
It could if the Writers Guild would be like, yeah.
I mean, the actors aren't, you know.
That's a whole nother thing. But I mean, as far as the writers, from where I'm sitting, where we've been sitting, that was like the most ridiculous ask. Like, okay, if you're performing, you should get more. You should get more residuals. Okay. I agree with that.
The AI is an issue. Completely agree.
I agree with that. You need to regulate it some. What I never agreed with was you need to have a minimum number of workers on.
What we said since day one.
Yep. And it's the same thing the studios are saying. So what the hell do we know? We don't know anything, right?
Yep, apparently.
So we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.